Salut tout le monde, c'est Fog et on se retrouve aujourd'hui pour un live sur Tale of Arise. Oups, j'ai-tu déjà enclenché de quoi? Oui, j'ai enclenché de quoi? Je sais que hier j'avais dit que j'avais fait un live, ben c'était pas être un live Fire Emblem, mais je me suis trompé actuellement. Je pensais qu'on c'était mercredi aujourd'hui, mais on est mardi. Laissez-moi juste 2 secondes, je m'avais me chercher de quoi à boire. Ça commence très bien, live, hein? Ça a peine de commencer que je suis déjà parti pour aller me chercher de quoi. Bien.
I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
Alors, on va voir c'est quoi qu'il y a en face. Ouais, c'est que j'ai pas envie de revenir en arrière puis de devoir réaffronter toutes les créatures qu'il y avait ici. Mais en même temps, il faut que j'aille me reposer. Il y en avait un mot, t'as dit, des créatures dans ce coin-là.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Rest easy. I'm here for the beef buffalo.
This is perfect! I'll have everybody's mouths watering when...
Mais non! Fait que ça va être déjà ça. On va avoir un magnifique boost de défense. J'ai tout de quoi que je peux acheter? Oh! Oh! Est-ce que je peux fabriquer de quoi en fait maintenant je pense? Ah, ok. Ben là, tout le monde a la meilleure des armes qu'ils peuvent avoir, fait que... Je dirais on peut acheter... avec le reste des Lemon Gel. Quoique j'ai en masse de Grape Gel, j'aurais dû acheter plus des Orange Gel. Ou des Live Bottle.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Désolé. Bien. Faut que je monte. Ah, bah au moins les créatures ont pas l'air d'être... Ah non, laissez faire. Je m'en ai dit, les créatures ont pas l'air d'être revenues, mais... Certaines pièces sont revenues. Ah, ok, ça continue à courir jusqu'ici. On va l'affronter, hein, ça va être tout seul. Allez. 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 Et ça devrait l'achever. Ah. 2 secondes.
We can really make weapons with this?
Qu'est-ce que tu veux encore? C'est là. Arrête de jouer avec la porte. Désolé, le chat est encore en train de jouer avec la porte. Je sais pas qu'est-ce qu'elle a ces derniers temps, elle arrête pas de niaiser avec. Ça m'énerve. essayer de passer ici. Ok. Ici à les bypasser, eux autres. Ça, c'est facile à bypasser. Ok. Finalement, c'était pas tant pire revenir en arrière. La créature ici est pas revenue, fait que. Juste rester. Oh. Ça, par contre, c'est un peu dans les jambes. Ah. Bon.
No further. Save you. Time to go. Is it too late to talk over our differences? Soaring light spear. Fall back. The enemy reveals our
Allez, hop.
We'll soon see about that.
Ouch. Je viens de voir que j'étais dans. On va faire ça ici. Hop. Voilà.
This one's got your name on it.
Boum, boum. Allez. Voilà.
Astral energy.
Say no more.
Boum. Puis là, il y a juste lui. Voilà. Voilà.
I feel
On peut passer,
sprightlier than before.
on peut passer par ici, là, à cette heure. Ah, je comprends, c'est pourquoi j'ai autant de grape gel. Les ennemis me donnent des grape gel dans le coin ici. Good grape jelly. Puis on est de retour ici. Le point de heal est plus là, fait que. Mais on n'est pas tant pire là, en soi ici. Au niveau HP, on est. On en a pas de temps perdu, puis niveau CP, on en a pas utilisé pantoute. Donc on peut monter. Voyons voir c'est quoi qui est ici.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
Ouais, c'est là.
I want to look through that room over there.
C'est là ce que.
Curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
Ok.
We should go through that room some more before we move on.
Mais je veux pas y aller!
This looks like some kind of research facility.
Ouais, il y a des petites arbres.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Yeah, ok. Des petits arbres. On va voir c'est quoi qui est ici.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here.
Ne dedi?
To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait,
What is it? Did you find something?
it's a list of names. With the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman? It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
Bon.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Issuing Lenegis structure, we can see pipe for transporting astral energy sticking out of them. Okay. A notice. This area will now be shut down as the projects proceed to the final phase. Issuing this room equipment, it hasn't been used in a long time. Donc il y a une phase finale. Select the topic to explore. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device can carry the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Addendum, due to the loss of production facility incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegis, additional device will no longer be manufactured. Select the topic. Brainwashing report. After receiving report of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matters in depth. The system is unique in that it will elevate only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renan and Danan alike to enslavement. Test subject the hashtag 10105 serve as the realm's current lord and has achieved this without the use of any special power, drug, or special device. Rather, it has done by sheer governance. Given this method effectiveness as population control monitoring of the situation will continue. Addendum 1. Collapse of cognitive facility via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once a subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. To such a state is ill-suited for a commanding officer. It remains an effective way to cultivate disposal infantry enslaved for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers in Lenegis who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sector as a trial. The result will be monitored. Select topic to explore. Ok. Donc effectivement, ils étaient tous brainwashed ici. Lenegis. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dana's astral energy and transmit it to Brianna. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign Maiden and Rena Salma within the central core of Lenegis. Ok, fait en ce moment, ils sont tous dans le corps, dans le cœur de Lenegis en ce moment. Donc, la femme rouge, c'est aussi une Maiden. It is a comprised of classified and essential personal residence zone around a large conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as a stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zone. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegis serves as the central base of operation for the management and execution of the Crown Contest on Dana. Warning, any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violator will be immediately executed. Select a topic. Detachable harvester. a massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. It served as the tips of Lenegil's conduit, from which it separated. Upon landing in Dana's water, it extends two sets of conducting pathway. This is a vertical pathway connected to the center of Dana. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathway proceeds to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessel placed on each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegis. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone, regulator area, Lenegis outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploring due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. Okay. Addendum 2. Detachable Harvester's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. Ok, fait qu'ils sont en train d'en déployer un deuxième. This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. Select a topic to explore. Sont-ils en train de dire que le premier avait été détruit par Alfheim quand il était sur son rampage il y a 300 ans, ou que le deuxième a été déployé, va être déployé bientôt? Select a topic to explore. Master Core. Master Core are instruments of power containing astral energy that belong to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these Master Core, those with earth, water, fire, wind, and light, are loaned to Renan Lord at the time of the Crown Contest. Only the Dark Master Core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Renan Salman is ready to be reformed. Its existence kept top secret. Underneath the Master Core spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in the dormant state. For the duration of their tenure, each lord competes in a crown contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from the respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaw has been discovered in how the Renan Salman materialized. Be advised that active Master Core may resonate with other Master Cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Due to the successful regeneration of the Renan Salman, Master Core will cease to be deployed and the Crown Contest will be permanently halted. Ok, fait que ça, c'est des trucs qui sont en train de se faire maintenant. Fait qu'il n'y en aura plus de prochain Crown Contest. Whoops. On va le regarder depuis le début, lui. Spirit Core. Désolé. Spirit Core are end. Désolé. Spirit Core are a hand terminal used for the collection of astral energy. When imbued with a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within the range of the spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Danan must be deployed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the Crown Contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that Spirit Core be retrieved from host body and reused upon their dead. Spirit core can also be embedded in Zoogle to control them via Astral Art. Addendum 2. Addendum. Increased physical load on host body tend to produce increased astral energy emission. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host body without inducing death for maximum astral energy yield is still pending. Select the topic to explore. On va finir avec celui-là. Voyons voir ici. The Lord. Each ground contest 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan population are chosen to act as Lord, vying to serve as their next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority as well as one of 5 elemental realms to administer in its corresponding master core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral art history and physical and mental aptitude. Other variation of variable such as age can have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become Lord, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that Lords are not the only individual capable of drawing out the Master Core's power. All Renan must take part in the selection process, and that the acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an the acting Lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Select a topic to explore. Ok. Fait que si on n'aurait pas take out tous les Lords suffisamment vite, ils auraient tous été remplacés, ils vont tous finir par être remplacés. Même si le Crown Contest n'est pas fini. The following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject Experimentation. Test Subject 10105, given name Voran, Generation Unique Adjustment Index. Although subject possess high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for following order. As such, the risk is posed to surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure. As such, the risk it posed surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration of disposal. And then done. This is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to its established control protocol. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a Lord. Select the topic to explore. Ok, fait que Voran a été fabriqué ici récemment. Même s'il y a personne qui est ici, la seule raison pour laquelle il y a personne, c'est à cause du fait qu'ils étaient. La phase finale vient d'être activée. Ok, The Sovereign. The Sovereigns act as the Lenegis central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. As Danan subjects serve as the base of its creation, in theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survived it. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's power of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measure must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate method to perform the ceremony have been found. Trial on Danon subject are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustment are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation take place. Second topic. The Maiden. The Maiden act as the sovereign support mechanism. Désolé, il faut que je reprenne un peu mon souffle. This Maiden act as a sovereign support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted a level 2 authority and the 90 crest. As a Radiant subject serve its function, providing the sovereign with the supplemental Dark Astral it lacks in tandem with the Renus Alma. During the ceremony, it is partly responsible for astral energy conversion as well as maintaining stability over the sovereign's own power. Additionally, the decree of intimacy between it and the sovereign have been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activation of the sovereign without the maiden are present. Trial activation of the sovereign without the maiden present are expressively forbidden. Furthermore, neither the sovereign nor the maiden are to be informed about the detail of spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. Mental instability in the maiden has been deemed the cause of the past sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. Donc la raison pour laquelle Alfheim a perdu le contrôle il y a 300 ans, c'est à cause d'une instabilité mentale qu'il y avait dans la Maiden précédente. Si je comprends ça. Addendum 2. In line with the plan of adjustment, the current subject will have its maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Select a topic to explore. C'est ça, c'était une note de plus de 300 ans. J'imagine que... peut-être qu'au final, Shion est actuellement la Maiden d'il y a 300 ans. Ça ferait du sens. A room unchanged over 3 centuries. It's like the time itself has stopped here. Ok. Au moins, j'ai fini par passer ce passage avec tous ces dialogues. Et je te dis, il y en avait ben trop. J'étais en train de galérer, moi, là. Grape gel! You see a lot of number. Looks like log of alignment between subject and legatus propers. Ah, ok. Beaucoup d'informations qu'on vient de recevoir, d'ailleurs. Quand on y repense. Je suis curieux de voir s'il n'y a pas de quoi de caché dans les deux coins. C'est quand même une grosse pièce, ça serait... C'est un peu dommage qu'ils n'aient pas caché quelque chose d'autre dans la pièce. Genre un petit coffre caché sur un côté. Oh, un autre souvenir.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell. His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But if I don't get back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen. That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
By dating her out
She
of jail.
kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah,
Butler, miss it,
once
Butler
you spiral out
Renan!
of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Parce que maintenant, j'ai mis votre face sur ce que j'ai!
For the people of Lenegis,
Les jokes sont pas drôles, je sais.
dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, sovereigns and forbidden zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renets. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Ah, ok. Fait que j'imagine que ça va nous amener à la place centrale. Je sens qu'il faut que je regarde ici. Ok, peut-être pas là, mais c'est quand même une bonne chose de sauvegarder ici. Heavy Trait! Et rien pas tout ici. Même pas un petit coffre. C'est un genre de place, c'est même pas capable de fournir quoi que ce soit. Ah!
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now, nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. The Sovereign. They linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori. That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Dahnan voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't! You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity.
And we will fall together.
It's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
And trouble
Who knows
too.
where they're following. We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's
What
get
about
moving,
our
shall we?
justice?
Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion.
It's our
You paid a
fault.
heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories.
Is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
I wanted to kill
The thorns
myself.
are gone. I never
Yeah.
dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone.
Il y a rien qui t'empêche de frapper l'art.
People do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live
Mais moi, c'était pas la même voix.
normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to
We're
do.
going to live.
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. We'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Latest maiden. On va ramasser ça direct. Puis on va te ramasser ça. Oh, Alphen, t'as 2000 points, toi. Ok. On va ramasser ça pour finir celui-là. Puis on va ramasser... On va ramasser celui-là. Toi, on va te ramasser ça ici. On va ramasser ça pour le finir. Magnifique boost de 20. Ah, on peut te ramasser ça aussi. Là, toi... On va ramasser KO Prevention, puis on a plus de points pour quoi que ce soit d'autre. Donc là, finalement, autant de disques que là, là. Même affaire pour Alphen. Oh! Sodel Artilis Gamnatus Lezelabelus. Lacephielix. Et t'as pas obtenu de nouvelle arme. Pas, mais l'épée que j'ai actuellement, Gladius Menace, fait mieux avec la tenue que celle qu'ils m'ont donnée. Ouais. Ok, whoops. Ok. On va faire ça ici.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
That's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
Non, ok, fait que c'était la seule conversation qu'il y avait. Et on va juste fouiller un peu, voir s'il n'y a pas un coffre. La pièce ressemble beaucoup à l'intérieur que... Comment ça s'appelait déjà? La sorte de balai qu'ils avaient lancé dans l'eau. Ça mène où là encore? Où c'est qu'on s'en va? Il va y avoir un combat de boss, je vous le garantis. Ou pas, généralement ils mettent toujours quelque chose dans les combats de boss. Mais c'est clairement pas une porte conventionnelle.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
I don't want to.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
La tenue actuelle d'Alphen me rappelle vraiment quelque chose. J'ai déjà vu une tenue similaire à ça. Ah oui, combat de boss. C'est probablement le boss final.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... It reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Ouais, c'est ça que
Except
tu
the
disais.
Danon astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So what is it then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Ah, ok. Donc ici, il faut que je regarde. Ouais, on s'en va affronter le boss final. J'ai littéralement plus d'argent. Oui, je vais y toucher. Voilà. On n'aurait peut-être pas à aller sur Rena au final.
Bullrun! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
I don't think so.
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself. Reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law. The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
She's not red anymore!
They all have the same face? How is that even possible?
They are dark astral energy.
What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
Des machines. Red Woman!
Feeling particularly taunted.
It's no
Boom!
use, Alphen.
Whoa!
If we don't fight, we may as well
Hey!
be sitting ducks.
Merci!
Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
In a bind?
Meteor storm!
Voilà. Merci, tu me donnes exactement ce que j'ai besoin pour esquiver, pour... Merci. Voilà.
Oh, violent darting wind! Caught now through all! Seal!
Est-ce que ça a des faiblesses? Tellement ça a des faiblesses à la lumière. Merci. Ouch. Allez. Merci. Ouch. Ok. Grave Gel. Oups, c'est pas moi que j'aurais dû soigner de même. Ah! Voilà. Voilà. Grave Gel. Voilà! Wow! Boom, 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 boom!
Flaming pillar! Fire!
Hop! Hey! Vous êtes pas censé faire ça tout de suite! C'est de la triche! Ouch! Vous trichez!
Another incantation ruined.
Ah, ok.
If it's in the sky, it's mine.
On va devoir demander à Law d'embarquer sur le terrain. On va utiliser un life bottle sur Rinwell. Et on va la soigner petit à petit. Ouch. Ouch. Ok. On va se soigner nous-mêmes. Ouch. Whoop. Ouch. Je vais me soigner. Voilà. Ça fait penser, tellement, j'ai une version améliorée de Swallow Dance. Super Swallow Dance. C'est pas une qui peut monter dans le ciel, malheureusement. Mais on va remplacer Talon Storm par Super Swallow Dance. Divine Fang, on va le remplacer par... J'ai-tu des trucs de lumière? Nah. Ah, ok. Allez. Boom. Ouch. Ouch.
Punishment?
Ouch. Hop, je vais soigner. Enfin, m'a besoin de soins immédiats. Ouch. Ni à moi, Rinwell. Voilà. Allez. Normalement, ça... Oh, oh, ça fait du dégât à tout, ça. Ouch. Allez, boum. Ils sont tous dans le même cercle en ce moment. De penser, on va utiliser un live bottle sur Law. Boom. Ok, on va utiliser un grape gel sur lui à cette heure. Ça, si quelqu'un tombe, on va pouvoir... Ouch! Comme par exemple ça ici. Allez! Ah, ok. Allez, hop! Ouch! Faut que je me soigne. Boum! Ouch! Ok. On va utiliser un Pineapple Gel. Faut qu'on puisse avoir du soin. Grape Gel pour toi, Alfheim. Ouch. Ok. Voilà. On va essayer ça. Ok, nice. Oh, ça peut pas être bon. Allez, arrêtez-le! Ah! Vous êtes méchant! Boum! Je pense pas que c'est la fin du combat.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now! Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What? It's self-destructed?
Alvin!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman.
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
It's too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
No!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am
A dead man?
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Attention, pas de planter les griffes dans la main.
Steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renasolma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
It's Starship vessel.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Brennan's or Danan's.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danan. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Need a human
Most
for
terrifying
naked with
thing
an.
anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Dohalim? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena. And Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Du really deux.
Sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renasolma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
If they blew themselves up, we're blowing. No, we're blowing ourselves up. Just for, just to make them know we're gonna follow them everywhere. If they blow ourselves up, we're gonna blow ourselves up. Hey. The pedestal where the Renasolma sat 300 years ago. Now it gave off no trace of power. Mais non! C'était un combat qui était pas tant difficile que ça, honnêtement. C'est relativement simple. Ok, je suis mort. J'ai une couple de mes alliés qui sont morts. Mais juste les dégâts de zone que je peux pas chiant, mais que Rinwell peut faire électrique sont juste tellement puissants que. Oh! Ok. On peut pas se téléporter hors, fait qu'on a pas le choix de faire le trajet complet à pied. Est-ce que j'aurais pas manqué un passage à quelque part? Une bonne chose que ça c'est revenu. Ok, l'objectif est à 150 mètres. On va faire le combat, ok. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Another incantation ruined.
À terre! Frappe! Voilà. Boom! Voilà.
This one's got your name on it.
Boum, boum.
I never miss. Now,
Voilà.
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
Bon.
I can feel my power growing!
Nice. Fait qu'on les a affrontés quand même les boss en étant à peu près 4 à 5 niveaux en dessous. Fait que c'est en soi c'est pas mal dans les niveaux qu'on doit se trouver. Là. On est probablement dans les bons niveaux. Je vais pas m'en faire là-dessus. Puis je suis finalement arrivé à la sortie. Celui-là est vraiment moins compliqué par rapport aux montées de niveau. Les niveaux se montent relativement facilement, honnêtement. Là. Je suis un peu étonné.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegis is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then.
All families are
You
sovereign.
mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed you now, fellow remnants of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Elda Menancia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things.
Like the money to
Things
possess.
like, oh, I don't know. Musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnagain's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
Bom. Pour Dohalim, Renan Ruler.
Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
Oh, okay.
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan Lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master, that's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
Nope. Encore un autre.
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Ok. Encore un autre.
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
I was doing
You
both.
were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
Bien. Ah, ok, fait que c'était la dernière. On peut toujours pas se téléporter. Bon, ben je suppose que tout ce qui me reste à faire... J'ai-tu des quêtes au moins ici? Non, plus de quêtes pantoute. Plus de quêtes pantoute, fait que... Tout ce qui me reste à faire, c'est vraiment ça à quelqu'un. Bien, par là. Il y a longtemps qu'il n'y a plus de feu nulle part. Il va être agréable de vivre ici une fois qu'il n'y a plus de feu. Par contre, il y a encore les malades. Puis les blessés. Je me demande du coup à quoi ça a de l'air, Rena. Encore un autre point qu'il faut que je me rende à, puis après ça, ça va être le vaisseau, je crois. Ouais. Il y a encore un autre quartier à passer au travers, puis après ça, ça va être directement le vaisseau. Oh! Chest! Sheep meat! Ah, ok. Pas vraiment intéressant à tout ce qu'ils disent. Si j'aurais eu si j'aurais joué au jeu tout seul, hors live, j'aurais probablement été lire l'entièreté des conversations qu'ils disent. Et là, comme je suis en live, je veux pas non plus passer une éternité à toutes les lire. Parce que ça peut prendre une éternité à lire ces affaires-là. Ces conversations-là. Surtout en sachant que généralement, quand il y a un événement qui se passe, toutes les conversations changent, fait que tu dois toutes aller les relire par la suite. Bon, on est prêt à sacrer le camp.
I thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissance.
Il faudrait trouver un autre nom pour la Red Woman.
The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What?
That can be good. Oh là là. C'est quoi qui va se passer là? Oh. C'est quoi qu'ils font? Ils sont en train d'essayer de détruire le vaisseau? Oh oui.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a encore là? C'est-tu Dana, ça? Ah non! Ah, ok, je viens de comprendre. Ils veulent utiliser Dana pour réparer Rena.
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
The Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
Peut-être qu'Alphen pourrait essayer avec son pouvoir de souverain.
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down! You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
Bon, qu'est-ce qui se passe là maintenant? Où c'est qu'on s'en va? Ah, on s'en va à ça. C'est quoi ça? C'est pas la Lenegis, ça. C'est une autre station complètement.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
On va faire la toute dernière conversation. J'espère que c'est en tout cas c'est la dernière. Puis après ça, on va arrêter.
Just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
What the... Oh, right. The thorns. My bad.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I overreacted.
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute without putting your foot in your mouth?
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys, not the other way around.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask. Not being able to touch people, does it ever get lonely sometimes?
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms. It was either accept it for what it was or come undone. Before long, it was just part of my everyday reality. I think I even forgot there was another way to live. Which isn't to say I didn't feel alone. I did. Always.
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as loneliness? I don't know how you managed.
It's fine. I know I'm not alone anymore.
But I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down? Even Alphen.
Alphen arrête pas de la
I
toucher.
appreciate the concern.
Il la touche tout le
Until I
temps.
get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. But not forever. Alphen promised me that. Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way, the day will come. And I'll be ready when it does.
Yeah, just hang in there. One day, we'll share a big warm hug. You'll see. I promise.
Ne fais pas de promesses que tu peux pas respecter. Encore? Ah. Il y en a combien des conversations de même? Ça fait tellement de conversations qu'on enchaîne de même.
Ah, what the? Are you out of your mind? This isn't the time for games, Rinwell.
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to resist with you looking all jittery like that?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation. You ought to try it sometime.
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous, you're making me start to feel nervous too.
Oh, sorry.
Staying alert is important, but too much caution can cloud your judgment. Try to strike a balance.
Bon, ça, c'était la dernière conversation. Ok, on peut s'arrêter là. Il était temps. Il était temps que les conversations s'arrêtent. Il y en a eu beaucoup trop aujourd'hui. Ah, ouais. Et avec ça, j'espère que le live vous aura plu. Du coup, demain, on se retrouve réellement pour un live sur Fire Emblem. J'espère que vous allez l'apprécier celui-là aussi. Moi, j'adore toujours faire les lives sur Fire Emblem. Toujours palpitant, enfin. Fait que ça va être ça et je vous dis à la prochaine et ciao!